cobwebs. Dusting off the cobwebs here. Wow, happy to be on here just sharing with you all the updates that have been happening in my life over the past couple of months, years maybe, if yeah, you haven't caught up with my YouTube channel. Of course it's been years on my YouTube channel, but social media and everything is keeping us connected. So this is a redone intro of my vlog today. I had done something earlier in the day, just showing you, what was I even showing you? Just really introducing the video, and then I went to have breakfast, and I vlogged that process as well. I had really just woken up, not really expecting to do a vlog kind of a video. I thought it would just be a sit down sharing an update, because today I was just cleaning my space, and I've cleaned it and it's so nice now. So I was just cleaning my space, but I thought, you know, we can clean my space as we talk kind of thing. So that's what I did. But what happened is, and the reason I didn't lose my files, but my files can make the cut, I have become so rusty that I was vlogging on like portrait mode. So, and then I struggled to, I don't think my editing skills are like that crazy, like setting frame sizes and everything. But then also, like, it was such an important part of the vlog that, you know, anyway, I just decided to redo it. So as most of you may know by now, if you've been catching up with me online, I moved to the UK. I moved to Oxford, and this is what this vlog is basically all about, talking about the whole shebang. Now you will miss my breakfast part, because it was a very interesting part, because I poached eggs for the first time and they turned out okay. So, you know, I had recorded that, but now we've lost it. Anyway, let's carry on with the rest of it, because from here I used my camera. I had used my phone earlier because I hadn't planned to vlog. I found that my camera battery wasn't even charged in the first place, so I vlogged the first part with my phone, and you can see just confusion. Bear with my rustiness, but I think the rest of it is something you'll enjoy. I'm actually working on editing it now, so I think it's something you'll enjoy. So thank you for coming on here. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, and enjoy the vlog. Yay, came back to a charged camera, and I'm gonna place you there for a little chit chat. What you saw there, the corridor coming in, that's just so from the kitchen, that's all the rooms, yeah, that I came into my room, which is a bit messy right now, but I already said it's cleaning day. I think I need to do this just in case you're interacting with me for the first time. My name is Laura. My name is Laura. I am I always struggle to introduce myself, to be honest, but if you've never interacted with me, and this is probably the first time, I have a background in nutrition and dietetics. I'm a licensed nutritionist and dietitian. I sing. I love to sing, and I sing once in a while, put out music, and I also had a chance to work at Citizen TV for 3 years on a youth show called Bambika. It's a gospel youth show, really dope show. So now transitioning into where I am now, I'm currently in the UK, in Oxford. Like I said earlier, I am particularly at Oxford Brookes University, and I'm pursuing my master's in public health. But the quality is much better with the camera still. So I what informed this decision for me really was I mean, it's a longer story if we look at it from a in terms of the health discipline, and I'd say disciplinary level. In terms of the health discipline, when we look at it, it's a bit of a broader conversation about where nutrition is for us as a country, especially in terms of job opportunities, because in terms of the work that needs to be done, it's a lot of work, but we still need to grow so much more as a country to create the opportunities for that work to be done, for the people who are qualified to do that job to do it. So as a licensed nutritionist and dietitian, I mean, you know, so the thing about my split, I have so many things going on, is I can see how someone would think that my interest is fully in media or in music. It is, but not fully. I really love this other side, and that's why I went through with my studies despite doing music and media coming through. Wow, today I'm shabby at my, I didn't even do anything. I just, it's what it is. But I'm also interested in this other field. I'm so passionate about human health. I would have done medicine if I didn't have the passion for music and everything, because I kind of just want to also explore all possibilities with who I am. I want to do the most in life, so I try to find a balance, and I found something so perfect in nutrition and dietetics. Studying it was so much fun, and the experience I had working, the little work experience I have was also so amazing. So I really am passionate about that. And so along the way, as I went on with a course, I developed a very key interest in broadly public health, but if I could narrow it down, I'd say health communication, health promotion, advocacy, and policy kind of stuff. And all those things come down to public health, because public health is basically I hope the noise is not too much, is the macro level practice of nutrition. Of course, when you narrow down to community level and then to facility level where you're dealing with patients one-on-one, then so anyway, it was informed first by my passion for nutrition and my passion for public health, my passion for human health, and I really wanted to become better at this thing. And also I really wanted to put myself in a competitive place in my country, because like I'm saying, in Kenya we still have a long way to go in terms of creating the right opportunities for people to practice some of their qualifications, which are such great qualifications. And I'm only 1 month in, and I'm telling you, in the interactions I've had with different people, our education system is actually, much as it's very imperfect, wow, we really are ahead on so many levels. And so we have the knowledge and the know-how, we just don't have the opportunities, which is unfortunate. So anyway, I just wanted to get something on top of what I have, so that when I get into putting in more work experience, then I can just going. So I thought about doing my master's for a while. As soon as I got licensed, I did my internship with Kenya Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute, that's KNDI, which licenses nutritionists. And as soon as I finished, to be honest, the what next is always the difficult question, especially for nutritionists, and I found myself there and asked myself, so what next? I must say that I have been very privileged to have something else going for me, because I've had a job. I had a job from when I was in 4th year. That's a job at Citizen, so I had something else going. But you see, I really want to, in terms of like my long-term career, this is what I want to do. So I needed to also put some energy into building it, because that's what I see, that's where I see my long-term future in. So I thought about, now what next? And when I looked at the opportunities to get into work, they're not so appealing, to be honest. And I just thought to do my master's. And at first I really was just thinking, I have a job, I have other things I'm doing, I could just start my master's somewhere and keep moving. So at first I was actually looking to do a master's in health communication. So I discussed it with my mom, especially my mom, because my mom is in the field. Her background is in home economics, majored in nutrition, went up the ladder. She's really she's really a big deal in nutrition, and I'm so proud of my mom. My goodness. So I really like, I'm so blessed to also have her counsel, because you know, I'd just bounce off these ideas with her, like, mommy, what next? And she told me, okay, yeah, health communication is a massive gap in Africa, in the world, you know. Health promotion is something we really need to work on. So sounds good. Try and see what options you have. So I looked around. Health communication is literally not it's not a thing yet. So at first I thought, am I gonna do communication? Let's see. So I started to think in those lines. Then along as I kept researching, and that's part of it, really, like, you really need to do your due diligence. As I kept researching, I saw I just grew and moved away from comms and more into slowly into public health. So because even when I looked at the world landscape, other schools in the world, health communication is, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's only offered in John Hopkins University as a course, as a standalone course. So for most people, or in most places, health promotion or health communication is a module in public health. And that's now what led me to think, actually I could do public health, because it's broader, you know, like, I'm not also narrowing it down a bit too much. It's broader. And the thing about public health also is, currently it's one of the most marketable career paths to take, really. So anyway, narrowed down to public health. I looked at the Kenyan landscape, and I had not even really gotten to keenly looking at it when my mom came home one day and asked me, Laura, if you had an opportunity to go study, do your masters for a year away, would you do it? And she really threw me off because I had never thought like that, really, to be honest. I am not one, I didn't know I have capacity to literally be away from my loved ones, especially those three, my mom, my dad, my brother, and now my friends, for longer than 2 weeks. So it did throw me off, but it really expanded my mind in such an interesting way. And so that night I barely slept, just really thinking, goodness, what next? And is this something I'd pursue? And to come from her meant a lot, because she was literally just saying, I can support you to do this if it's something you'd want to do. And I woke up the next day and I told her, Mommy, I think I want to try. And we discussed it with my dad, and he was surprised, but he got on board, and then we just got excited about it. And I started now researching, and I'm gonna talk about those things in depth, because it's so much. I've had a lot of you reach out to me and ask, how did I get here? How did I apply? How did I do this? And even that conversation about as a nutritionist, I know we need to have, if you're a nutritionist, I know we need to have conversations about that, like. And I intend to do, I've dusted off the covers already, so I intend to do a lot more videos just to create that information catalog, because while I was researching, I also really needed someone to tell me a lot of these things that I actually didn't find a Kenyan to tell me these things. I really had to do I did a lot of research and a lot of due diligence. And so for me, the whole process, I did it alone. From looking for the universities to shortlisting to starting my applications, I did it alone, but not alone. I have a very good friend of mine who came to the country last year to do his master's, and he had done it, so he guided me on the point, you know, the things, the steps. So why UK again? First, my mom planted it in my mind. She told me the thing about it is the UK currently, post-Brexit, they are very ripe for skilled workers, and you know, like, they really need workforce. And so they've opened up a skilled worker visa, a 2-year postgraduate visa after you study here, all those things. So many Africans are actually coming to the UK to study or to work, because the UK is literally like arms wide open, like come, 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 we need you guys. So there's that, but then there's also generally for me, I've been drawn to the UK, and I think most Africans are. Like, it's the more close to familiar or like friendly environment kind of thing for, I don't know, I don't even know how to put it, but really I don't think, considering how big of a change this was even to think about while I was back home, I didn't even want to imagine being like in China or like in, you know, no, of course, no hate on any country. I'm just saying drastic, fully drastic change. You see here with this, they speak English. In fact, they're so impressed with my English, or like with English from Kenyans, because English is, you know, we speak like, we understand each other, you can communicate, you can learn the system very fast, it's not too different. So my little understanding of the UK really just made me narrow down. So to be honest, by the time I was researching or looking into schools, I just narrowed down to the UK. I wasn't looking elsewhere. So for that, why the UK, it's not even that deep of a question for me. It was just random. So I want to get into cleaning. I actually need to go do my laundry, and I'll come back, clean, and then we keep talking as we go. So let's start dealing with this mess. As I wait for my clothes are in the dryer, and I think they're almost done, but in this few minutes, what was the process like while I was still back home and just thinking, okay, this is what I want to do? Of course, starting from a very green place was very interesting, and I think if you've ever been in a situation where you're trying something new, it's both exciting and nerve-wracking, you know. So yeah, that was a feeling, like I'm just like, oh my god, am I really doing this? But at the same time, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is hard, or this is, you know, like I encountered different challenges. Like I needed to renew my passport. That wasn't a challenge. It was smooth process, but a lot of changes have happened at immigration that, of course, I've never really had to deal with immigration. My first passport was I'm sure it's my folks who got it for me, because I was under 18 But I mean, a lot has changed because there are things I was even asking my dad, and he had no idea how to, because now they send it to you to your post office, and then now you need to get they're trying to digitize everything. You need to get an appointment to go pick it, blah blah blah. Anyway, that's a lot of I think the biggest and most heartbreaking challenge for me, which I wouldn't even go too deep into because was I was trying to get my references from my professors, and one of them really, really discouraged me from this. They really discouraged me from pursuing public health specifically, which is a thing. I don't know what it is about people in the field in nutrition who are like, why are you changing? Why don't you just do your master's in nutrition? I don't know, because public health is, it's the same field. I'm just narrowing down to something that I like and something that's actually very functional in the world that we're in right now. With that background and then going into public health, I feel like, anyway, I have my opinions and my feelings around, but they really made their opinion very clear to me that they weren't for it. And the kind of thing of like, do what you want and let's see where it'll get you. And it was really discouraging, but I pushed past it. And then I did the IELTS exam. The whole process is something that now that I've dusted the cobwebs here, I think it would be nice to talk about, especially because as I was in the process, I was trying to find information around this, and when I looked, there was no information really from a Kenyan, like clear, precise, step-by-step information from a Kenyan who's coming to live in the UK or coming to study in the UK. The best I could get was from Nigeria. There are many content creators in Nigeria who've done that step by step, but of course you have to contextualize it to Kenya at the end of the day. So IELTS exam, apply for the schools, Sijui TB certificate, start applying for visa, blah blah blah. So it's a whole process, and it's a lot of waiting, it's a lot of crossing fingers and praying, it's a lot of also gambling here and there. But for me, when I'm in such a space of trying something new, I really like to keep an open mind, because really anything could happen. And sometimes it's not about the outcome, it's about the process, and what the process teaches you or brings out of you or just helps you learn or see or know, even about yourself, even if not about the thing you're trying to do. So it was a lot mentally and emotionally. I really needed to align my mind into that. And the bigger picture is me coming to the UK is not, yes, it started with the idea of coming to study, but it's interesting how life actually just works towards a certain thing, because it's like my life, especially in those 3-4 months as I was preparing, things just started falling into place, and some actually fell apart to lead up to this point, I think. And so there was a lot of adjusting relationally, job-wise. I had to quit my job, especially because it's not the kind of job really at the time we weren't able to start and conclusively get to a point of how can you work remotely. Not every job you can continue working remotely or something. So quit your job, put your finances in order, dig out of your savings, because it's a very costly process. Try and plan those finances with my parents and see, okay, this is the match fees, this is what I'll need. I need a house, I need what, I need stuff to settle. I mean, it was a lot, planning and everything, but it takes a lot of courage, and I think I had that courage. And now with my friendships and my family, I think when you know you have a limit with the time you have with someone, you really treasure the time you have with them. And I guess this is where the wisdom of that Bible verse, hey, I'm quoting for you Bible verses. There's this Bible verse which I really like, where David says in Psalms, teach me to number my days that I may gain a heart of wisdom. Basically, he's saying, God, teach me how to live as though I know when I will die. Something like that. That's how I translate it. Because when you live as if you know when you will die, my friend, you do everything to its fullest. If you're spending time with this person, you spend it to its fullest. You milk everything out of that moment or out of that opportunity. And so there was definitely a lot of that, because even before I could break the news to some people, I already knew in my mind this could be the last time I'm seeing this person physically, you know, whatever. Then there was that also, breaking news to people one by one. You start with your workplace, your employer, of course family, and our friends. And yeah, it was a process. And I think it also was an interesting time for me to get to see the people I actually really value and the people who value me, because the people who value me really circled themselves around me in that season in a way that I really appreciate. So yeah, the process was it was so many things in one, and it was a lot of learning, like things I never ever knew. And that's one of the most exciting things about trying something new. And if you ever have an opportunity to try something scary, something crazy, something otherworldly, something you'd never have imagined utaifanya, just do it, because it brings a lot out of you. And from there, when I got on the plane, I have said this to my friends, and I have no more words to express this, but really, when I got on that plane, all I can say is that something came over me. A bravery, a courage, a peace, just something that told me you will be okay. Because I was even on a flight that had a layover in Frankfurt in Germany. And I was like, and it was a very short layover. It was 1 hour and 20 minutes or something. And with international flights, it was my first international flight like that, with a long, I mean, such a long flight with a layover. And everybody who heard about how short my layover was like, you need to run. You need to really do things so fast. Your layover is too short. So, of course, those are some of the things I was anxious about. But then I just got on that plane and I was just like, by the imagine I'll be okay. Hata nikipotea kwa hiyo airport, sijui, somehow I will be fine. Of course, one of the things that put my heart at rest was this friend of mine who I told you helped me just learn the ropes of the process, was waiting for me on the other side, was waiting for me in London to just pick me up and show me around, and also bring me to Oxford, because Oxford is about an hour by train from London. So that of course gave me peace, because I'm like, yeah, you know, at least navigation, you know, once you understand navigation, it's very easy. But because I knew nothing about that navigation, having someone to help me settle really was so special. So yeah, I just got on the plane and something came over me, and here I am now. And now I want to go get my clothes from the dryer, fold them, and I'll basically like be done with my cleaning for the day. And then I think we can finish that vlog somewhere after. Oh yeah, and then I'll give you a mini house tour. But really, this is all it is. But still, I'll give you a house tour now that the house is clean and nice. The room is clean and nice. So I'm now pretty much done with my cleaning day, and just want to go to the store, pick up some supplies for the week, and I'll be settled for the week. It's actually Saturday as we speak today, or as I'm doing the vlog. A bit more about the transition also that I thought I need to talk about briefly was like, I'm a firstborn, and as a firstborn, I think you do get lost in the role sometimes. And so the idea of being away from home, and I lived with my parents. I've actually never lived alone. This is my first time living alone. I have flatmates, yes, but there's like a lot of autonomy. It does feel like living alone. So I lived at home with my family, and that proximity really like of course had me live in my role as a firstborn and not just as Laura on my own. And so that was an interesting thing going on, detaching from that, or like acclimatizing to the idea of like being away from your family. And but in a it's healthy, I think, because first I think my brother has a chance now to like thrive in the space all on his own, kind of a thing. I don't know if he sees it that way, but you know, I thought about it and I was like, good thing. And also, I don't know, I just think me and my family need to really figure this thing out of like, by the way, I am now like my own person and I can move out and I can because we're too close knit. So that was an interesting thing to like deal with, being away from home. I remember at the airport hugging my mom and thinking, mommy. Actually, she's the one who made me cry at the airport. But anyway, I got here. So like I said, from London, from Heathrow, my friend picked me up. We had English breakfast in London and then took a train to Oxford, about 55 minutes. I have a reel on my Instagram that just summarizes that whole trip. So my first week here, I was staying at an Airbnb. Again, I'll talk about the whole settling process in detail. Stayed at an Airbnb while I looked for a place to stay. I tried looking for a place to stay from back home, but it, you know, proved challenging in its own ways. I just found it better to, in the end, just come find a place from here. So I did that, found this place, and then moved. I think I also have that reel on my Instagram, my moving reel. I moved, and settling is really good. Also, settling into school is really good. It was very fast paced because I also delayed my travel date. Like I pushed it very close to the semester start date. So I came in and like boom, the next week I just had the weekend when there was a Queen's burial to like rest and also look for a place and settle. And then I think Monday I was, yeah, I didn't have that long to just like, yeah, be. I just went boom straight into it. So I've already finished my second week of school and it's been really, gosh, I have not a regret taking public health. I'm really loving it. It's so exciting. And this thing I'm saying about something came over me when I got on the plane. At this point, I am literally living in Oxford like a civilian. I want to do this, I do it. I want to go wherever because see, also systems here work. So if it's navigation, just use your maps or the apps or whatever bus you're using or train or whatever. You get around. If you learn how to self-checkout at the stores, you get around. So I'm settled. I'm so settled. I'm settled academically. I'm settled in terms of where I stay. I'm settled mentally. In my heart, I'm also settled. I'm happy, and I hope you could tell that I'm happy. And it's such a new experience. It's from before I came, I don't think I could really think about what it would be like, because there's no thinking about what it would be like when it's something completely new. And the best thing is to just keep an open mind and take it as it comes. I have my anxieties even while I'm here because I need to get part-time jobs to sustain myself for the longer period. It's a 1-year course. I don't know, like my biggest fear before I came, I used to tell my friends was, I'm like, gosh guys, if I get broke in Oxford, and you know Oxford is it's a fairly more expensive city in the UK as compared to, you know, cities that are farther away from London. The closer you are to London, the more expensive it is. London itself is crazy expensive. So anyway, I still have anxiety around some of these things, but underlying all this is really just a confidence and a hope, where I'm like, by the way, if God got me this far, He's gonna help me. I'll be fine. I'll be fine somehow, you know. So I guess this is pretty much it. Time is it? Yeah, it's a good time for me to go. What do I look forward to? I look forward to, of course, I've come here to study, so that's a really big priority. I want to do well in class. I want to really pass, and beyond that, like really learn and understand this field, because I'm so passionate about it. I look forward to doing a lot more healing. You know, healing is an everyday journey, and healing doesn't mean that you're coming from a bad place to get into a good one. It just means the everyday alignments and adjustments that you do as a person to grow and become a better person. I'm really open to seeing what this new space will bring out of me. I'm open to networking and making friends. Oh yeah, many of you have been asking me if I've made friends. Yeah, a few, but the culture here is very introverted actually. Like, people just mind their business and stay in their space. That's why loneliness is very high here. Like, I can totally see how you can get so lonely, because like today, you have no idea how I could, after the cleaning and everything, I wish I could just have a friend. We chat and chat. I have a good friend of mine who hopefully you'll meet on the vlog one day. She's from Nigeria. I met her in the process of coming here, and yeah, but now, like, you sometimes want to hang out with your familiar friends, you know. So that's an adjustment, but I think for me it's not that heavy, I guess, because generally, even back home, I live a slightly lonesome life. Like, I just stay on my own, do things on my own, move around on my own. So I know how to live with myself and by myself, so it's not that challenging. Of course, what I miss is the familiar company. And so I look forward to networking, yes, making friends as it comes, God willing. What else do I look forward to? Learning the world, being a global citizen, literally. So I'm hoping that where I can put a few coins together, I just hop on a train and go to another city in the UK, if possible. You know, flights from the UK to other European countries are way cheaper than if you were coming from Africa. I'd love to just hop on a plane, get to France, Germany, whatever. So I just look forward to a great 1 year. I'm here for about 16 months. Do I want to come back? Yeah, I want to come back home. Again, longer story, we'll keep unpacking it as we go. I'm not really looking into completely relocating. Yeah, I want to come back home. So, shopping bag ready. Time to go to Aldi, get supplies. Oh yeah, I'm gonna end the vlog with the room tour.